Stugotz here for 1-800-Flowers. With all the exciting hype surrounding Valentine's, you probably have some decent gift ideas swirling around, but you're waiting for the perfect one. Well, 1-800-Flowers.com is your answer, because right now, when you order early, you can get 12 multicolored roses for only $19.99, or double it to 24 multicolored roses for just $10 more. This is an unbelievable offer from 1-800-Flowers. This gorgeous bouquet of multicolored roses is a perfect surprise she's guaranteed to love. And remember, 1-800-Flowers is here for all your upcoming Valentine's needs. A dozen multicolored roses for just $19.99, or an upgrade to 24 multicolored roses for just $10 more is an amazing offer. When it comes to life's meaningful moments, choose 1-800-Flowers.com to order a dozen multicolored roses for just $19.99, or upgrade to 24 multicolored roses for only $10 more. It's simple. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. Again, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Dan.
This is the best of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I have mentioned that Super Bowl week, Wednesday, this is when it becomes the slalom course. Late Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, here come the guests through the Mall of America in Minnesota, where Allison is miserable. She's cold. She's sitting next to people she doesn't want to be sitting next to. And I'm not talking about Stephen A. Smith or Will Cain. And Allison is in Bristol. I'm sorry, she's in Minnesota, but we have to go through Bristol to get her.
Right.
In order to get updates on what's going on from Radio Row. But the latest information from Radio Row near the food court at Mall of America is that Dan Marino has canceled.
Oh.
So we lose out on an ability a half hour from now to talk to Dan Marino about Nutrisystem. Somebody else is going to get that opportunity.
Okay.
That's an opportunity that has now been denied us. We were mulling it, and it disappeared as fast as it arrived while we were mulling it.
Really a win-win, because we do a local out for Marino. We do a local hour before this. I was surprised Marino was even offered to us. I figured he'd never want to come on our show. He knows us, and I just figured this wasn't the show for us.
You think that's enough?
Yes.
That's enough. That knowing us, knowing who we are, as opposed to big guy, what's his name, who plays for the Vikings.
Wow.
Big guy. The guy who called me big guy yesterday.
Stephon Diggs, yes. Marino knows us, so I was surprised that he was offered to us, but he got his cake and he ate it too.
Well, no, he didn't, because he's on Nutrisystem.
Well, that's a good point. But what I mean by that, he doesn't have to come on our show. And for those of you who don't listen to the local hour, we did an entire segment on his product.
We did. We asked, what are we going to talk to Marino about? Let's talk to him. Let's ask him a bunch of Nutrisystem questions. Like, what's the greatest delight? Is it those, the potato chips that taste like cardboard? Or is it the pasta that tastes like cardboard?
Sweet promo.
No, I mean, come on.
Now we'll never know.
I got questions. I want to know. At 10:30 we were going to find out, but now Dan Marino's canceled on us. So our slalom course begins with a guest that I didn't really want canceling on us. So that's where we are. Super Bowl week. While Allison trudges all over Radio Row, and we await, I'm sure, a long list of guests that may be available to us once we get internet.
We're loaded today, man. We got T.O., Terrell Owens, Hall of Famer, going to join us. The Bus is going to join us. We got Kenny G again, and we got, I think, the most exciting player in the NFL today, Alvin Kamara. How about that? That is Super Bowl Wednesday.
Kamara is a great player. I have not found Kamara to be on television a great interview.
Oh. This is radio, though, man. Whole different animal.
All right, we'll see if we can have fun. Allison is standing by Mall of America. What is our present situation? Can you explain to me what exactly happened with Dan Marino? I know I put you in a bad spot. He was standing right next to you, and I was mulling on air whether or not to take him. I often put you in bad spots this way, Allison. What is our relationship status right now with Dan Marino?
The relationship status is fine. He was not here, so it's all good. He got canceled. Some things got moved around, though. So you didn't put me. I mean, you do always put me in a bad spot, but this time you didn't.
But did the person who is, dealing with Marino all week, his marketing person, did he or she hear any of that conversation?
No.
Okay, good. So we have not ruined our relationship with Nutrisystem or Marino, but we're simply not going to get Marino on, right?
We are not going to get Marino.
All right, the window is closed on Marino, or might he be wandering around doing Nutrisystem stuff at the Mall of America tomorrow or later?
Do you want the window open?
I don't know if I want it open or not. I want to mull whether or not to open the window. Well, no, we already agreed that the audience wanted it at 10:30, and so Stugotz is saying you love to bring Miami stuff to the national audience, and so I'm like, that's convincing. Let's do Dan Marino. Next thing I know, we're rejected by Dan Marino. Now I want him more than I've ever wanted it. But I've never want to talk to Dan Marino.
Life.
I know, it's unfair, right? It's like what happens to people when you're shopping. You're like, not shoes. Sure, if you want those shoes, hey, sir, we don't have them in your size. Oh, I need those shoes. What do you mean you don't have them in my size?
I always go shopping for you, though.
No, but that's true. Yeah. That's probably got to be a sales trick of some sort, though, right? That has to be something that is used often in sales. Now, wait a minute. Are we not all like this? Put this on the poll, at Le Batard Show. When you're told you can't have something, don't you want it all the more?
Of course you do. Yes, it is a sales tactic. Yes, you take something away from them, and then they want it even more.
No, it's magical. Yes. What Nutrisystem just did to me is amazing. First of all, and this is funny.
It's you.
Yes, Dan Marino. Hey, where'd she come from? Dan Marino, listen to me, who's peddling Nutrisystem, his handler is actually named Fudge. Not making that up. Her name is Fudge. Fudge.
Yep.
Brown Fudge. Fudge Brown. That is her name. Should be cardboard.
Oh, come on.
Not because of her, because of Nutrisystem. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Does Nutrisystem taste like cardboard?
So no Marino, huh? I'm telling you, I did, like, Marino sold me. It was Marino and Golic. They sold me on Nutrisystem. Golic crushed it.
Golic looks so thin.
It's not because of Nutrisystem. Now, that was this is years ago. Golic has talked about how he's become so thin. And he did get thin while taking Nutrisystem, so much so that it hooked me in. I'm telling you, the food's pretty good. I'm not joking. It's like some of it tastes like cardboard, but some of it tastes delicious.
Okay. I offered you the cardboard items.
Yeah. Some of it has tomato sauce on it.
That's right. Regardless, I now want to talk to Dan Marino about Nutrisystem more than I've ever wanted anything in my life.
You'll bump all guests this week to
all
get
guests.
Marino?
Dan Marino is now the get of the Super Bowl. I didn't want to talk to him 10 minutes ago. But now he's at the Super Bowl. He's wandering around. He's available.
Or you can talk to Jerome Bettis about butter.
Is that what he's promoting?
Lando Lakes.
If you weren't listening to the local hour, Jason Witten came on with us, and there was a magical moment. Do we have the internet access to cut this up? The idea of how he stopped me because I wanted to make fun of the thing that he was selling. And he's like, we're benefiting underprivileged children in Minneapolis. And he just shut me down so quickly on my jokes with the phrase underprivileged children.
Oh, man, it was such a great moment. We can't play that because we don't have internet. Yeah. And you need internet to save things, apparently.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. Well, we don't have a camera either. Again, we are a
Super Bowl week.
Again, we are a radio show that has upwards of 30 people working on it. I'm not making that number up. We agreed earlier that it's got upward of 30 people. We are in the middle of Super Bowl week. We are not at the mall where everything is taking place. We don't have internet. We have to go through Bristol in order to get Allison. Dan Marino just canceled on us, and we can't get a camera at the worldwide leader in sports to tape Mina riding a roller coaster.
But we got Kenny G.
And I've run out of things to talk with him about.
Oh, we got facts now. We had to go deep into our research for Kenny G. You know he thinks he invented the Frappuccino?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
I mean, Bobby Valentine claims to have invented the rap. Bobby Valentine and claim.
Yeah.
All right. What is the most outrageous claim, Guillermo? Put it on the poll. Bobby Valentine saying he invented the rap, or Kenny G alleging he invented the Frappuccino? What is the more outlandish claim? As soon as we get internet, put that on the internet. I don't know why I keep saying, Guillermo, put it on the poll. You just keep staring back at me. You've now hidden your stress hair from Super Bowl week in a backward cap.
There's no more hair under there.
No. What's happening with you? I want to know specifically where your mind state is.
I mean, we've gotten to the point that I've lost, caring ability. So, I'm not stressed anymore because I'm just let it go.
Okay, you are planning Super Bowl week.
Yes. Well, yes.
And we don't have internet. We don't have a camera. We don't have anything that functions on television.
But we're not giving up yet, Dan. We still may have something tomorrow.
Okay, all right. We are, again, we are now merging a marching band of nowhere with a flying saucer of BS. It's a merged vehicle. It's a transformer, this vehicle.
And the battery doesn't work.
I mean, I want to count during the break the number of people we have working on this show. I want to count them by name so we can find out how many people we have working on this show to never produce anything.
You count by number. That's a fun.
What did I say?
By name.
No, I want to count.
I don't know most of them.
No, I want to count. You don't know most of the names of the people who work with us on the show?
If we brought in the people that worked on the TV side, do you think Stugotz could
Let's
name
do
them by
it
name?
right now.
That's so unfair.
Let's do it right now. Should we not do it? I mean, it's unfair to Stugotz. It's going to be embarrassing to Stugotz. We have to do it. Next.
I'm going through the Rolodex of everyone. Oh, no.
This could be fun.
Bad.
This could be fun. Just bring in cameramen.
You have to sequester Stugotz because
he's going to go. Yes, he's going to go into the other room.
There's one that I'm really concerned about.
I know it is. It's the one who doesn't speak English, right?
Yeah. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at Progressive.com today. Here's your Sports
I can
Center
tell
update.
him the name now, and he won't remember it 5 minutes from
Why
now.
did you do that?
I can tell him right now.
Start with a K. That was the old one.
Yes.
Oh, it does? All right. Here's your Sports Center update. Can I guess it now?
Yes.
Well, it's not Kendry.
Kendry left about 7 months ago.
Yeah, but he was here the other day. It's nice to see him, by the way. Kevin? Kyle?
No.
Nope.
I'm not going to tell you because I want you to get it wrong and have to stare in his face and get it wrong when you stare in his face, a guy you've been working with for 4 years.
All right, Kelsey. Kiki?
It doesn't start with a K.
Oh. Here's your Sports Center update. The Chiefs traded Alex Smith to the Redskins for cornerback Kendall. Kendall Fuller and a third-round pick. The Redskins then signed Smith to a 4-year contract extension, averaging $23.5 million per year with $71 million in guaranteed money.
What?
Yes.
I know they signed Alex Smith.
Yeah.
I didn't think they signed Alex Smith for that much money.
A 4-year extension, $23.5 per season.
I mean, if you're going to get Kirk Cousins, might as well get it as Alex Smith, right? Kirk Cousins wants more than that.
Kirk Cousins is going to be more expensive. They get the same quarterback for less money.
Less money.
Yeah. Is it Kirk?
It is not Kirk. It does not start with a K.
Hi, this is Papi. Do you know that my TV show Highly Questionable is not only on ESPN2 every day at 4:30 Eastern, it is also available as a podcast. You can listen or subscribe to the Highly Questionable podcast on ESPN app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Dan Le Batard.
Y'all, facts and info.
Ripe cranberries will bounce like rubber balls.
What?
Okay. I don't think that is an answer to anything that I was asking, but okay. Very good. So you're telling me that a ripe cranberry will bounce crazy, like if you throw it really hard, it'll ricochet all over your room.
Stugotz.
I don't believe that. That's fake news. Fake news. Sad. Fake news.
It's a fact, Dan.
A fat?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, let's do this around some sports talk. Let's bring people in here who work on our show and have Stugotz try to get their names right. Stugotz can be clumsy about this. Roy had a child. Roy, his wife is someone who...
How's Gary doing?
His wife is someone that I believe Stugotz has known for a long time, but if I ask him now, he might not get the name right because he's gotten it wrong several times on the air. What is the name of Roy's wife? Do you know?
Need.
Ah, nice. That's the first time he's ever gotten it right. Congratulations to Stugotz. And he calls Roy's daughter, Claire, Gare, because he thinks his daughter is Gary.
Yeah.
Nice
name.
And so let's, around this phenomenon, let's talk about Trae Young.
Oh, man, this guy. He is, it's funny because I think when we were growing up, people grew up and they wanted to be Michael Jordan. And then they wanted to be like LeBron James. And now you're starting to see a whole generation of basketball players. All they want to do is play and act like Steph Curry. And Trae Young is that guy.
I mean, Steph Curry is quite the hero in this regard. You've got a guy in Steph Curry, and this is rare that you see this happen in real time, Stugotz. Steph Curry, there was a period of time in professional sports where all the advanced scouting in the world wasn't helping the defenders understand you need to get out on him earlier. You need to get out on him as soon as he gets over half court. You need to go. You're not defending the 3-point line anymore. That was a fascinating thing to watch happen in real time where, oh, wait a minute. The NBA doesn't realize that this guy's got more range than anybody, can get it off quicker than anybody, and they have to start guarding him earlier.
Yes.
But when he comes down the court, and so Trae Young is a child of that evolution, and college basketball hasn't caught up yet to the idea of, no. You got to get out further than that to guard that guy. He scores 40-plus last night.
He had 44 points last night. He had 9 assists. He had 4 rebounds. He was 6 of 11 from 3. He was 11 of 20 from the field. He is fantastic. But, Dan, if they didn't learn after last night, because Trae Young is not taking the college 3. That guy's pulling up beyond
I know,
NBA.
but Stugotz, do you remember with Steph when people didn't realize you have to guard him at half court?
Correct.
He might shoot from out there.
Yes.
Who is that standing in front of you right now? What is the name of that person who has worked on our show for a long time?
Easy one, Doug.
All right, Doug, you're dismissed. Thank you. Congratulations on your victory here. What about the hitch in his shot? Because I think one of the things with Steph Curry that gets overlooked is not just the accuracy, it's the ridiculous accuracy that is greater than any in the history of the sport. It's the speed with which he gets those shots off.
Well, not just that. Mike and I were talking about this during the break. What amazes me about Steph Curry, anyone who's played basketball knows the further back you go from the basket, the more you're pushing the shot. Your form becomes less natural. With Steph Curry, he has the same form, whether he's shooting from 3 or whether he's shooting from half court. But Mike made a good point, and I've noticed it. Trae Young kind of pushes the ball. He doesn't have the same form as Steph Curry. It's not as natural, right?
He's not as quick. He is not as quick.
And he's pushing it.
Is he as tall? He's about the same size.
He's got okay height for an NBA point guard, but when you just have okay height and not good height for that position, your release can't be low, and he's got a low push shot release.
Right. I don't know how that works. Who's that right there standing in front of you, standing right there in front of you right now? What is the name of that person?
That is Bruce.
All right. You are 2 for 2. Congratulations.
I know those hands anywhere.
I think that this is going to get more difficult now.
It's about to.
We don't see this in college sports. When do you see in college sports the guy who puts up 40s? That's not how college sports get played.
Dan, he's averaging 30 per game.
I know.
He's averaging 10 assists per game.
I know.
He's 18 years old.
I mean, Steph Curry was doing this from Davidson. Trae Young is not doing this quietly. He's doing it in a bigger way.
We've never seen someone do what he's doing right now, leading the nation in points and assists. If he finishes the season that way, he'd be the first player ever to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so last night, what does he do? He goes 44 and 10 last night?
44, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. But here, Dan, here's the thing, because you always go to percentages. He's very efficient.
Yes. Yes, but I am also wondering what Mike is wondering about the idea of larger defenders in the pros where all the guys who are going to be guarding you on that are 6'5", 6'6". How are we doing with the push shot on that? Can he get it off fast enough?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's going to be fun to watch.
But he's also 18, so he's 6'2" now.
Yes, he's got time
to grow.
Look, man, Lonzo Ball's shot looks all messed up. Markelle Fultz's shot is all messed up. What are you laughing about?
I don't know the next name. I like him. I like him a lot. Oh. We talk often. It took me 3 years to learn Doug's name.
I know. All right. Thank you, Chino. You've done all the work here that we need. Thank you.
I was going to say Chino. Come on, man. You got to give me a chance.
You bailed on it. Hold on a second. We got someone else here for you. That's not even the one I thought you were going to get wrong.
Chino, man.
I didn't think you were going to get Chino wrong.
There's one I'm super nervous about.
All right. That's not okay. That's all right. I think this is the one. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's the security guard.
Yeah. I mean, he's not here that often, so...
What do you mean he's not here that often? He's here every damn day. Every damn day.
I mean, maybe physically he's here, but mentally he's far, far away.
Okay, thank you for all your...
Thank you, Stephen.
Stephen, we appreciate all your good work. Let's bring someone... That's not the one that Stugotz was worried about either. Bring someone else in here. Let's see if we can get Stugotz to have a losing record on naming people he works with. All right. Look at this. These are people you see every day here at the Clevelanders, Stugotz. Every day. Who do you see up there?
Man, I mean, technically he doesn't work on the show, but he's so nice.
No, but you see him every day. Okay.
See him every day. Helps me out.
Take a guess.
Oh, man. I'm going to Shaquille.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. You got that. And what's her name? Thank you, Wally. We appreciate your time.
What?
What's her name?
Shakira.
Thank you. How do you not? You're all right. We're going to thank you, Pamela. We appreciate your support.
Whoa. Not what you told me, man.
Here comes the money.
Definitely looks like a Shakira. You would agree, right?
Mike, you realize that we have not yet brought in the one that's going to really confuse him? Are you going to do that now? All right, we'll do it after the break. There's no way you're getting this one. And I want this one's response. I want his response.
This is the one I'm nervous about.
I want his response at the microphone for how insulted he is by this. ZipRecruiter, when hiring for your business, finding the best candidates is always important. That's why business owners should use ZipRecruiter. No. I knew that's the one that you were scared of.
He's a bear of a man.
I love him.
And I love him, and I've hugged him.
That's right.
We've all hugged him. Daily I hug him.
That's right. Cameraman, what's his name?
Oh, my God. I feel this is so embarrassing. I don't embarrass easily.
Arnaldo.
Are you offended, Arnaldo? Are your feelings hurt that Stugotz doesn't? He still doesn't know. You just said your name and he still didn't understand it.
Kevin.
Okay. All right. Gracias, Arnaldo. Gracias.
I love you, Armando.
All right. Thank you, Arnaldo.
Yeah, that's right. We can do that. This show can do that. Arnaldos and Armandos, they're all the same.
Don Batard.
America is addicted to its technology, and it's really unhealthy.
I keep having this discussion with my wife because she is on that phone nonstop. And what I have asked for our family to do moving forward is let's figure out a time where all of us put our phones away and none of us use them till the next morning.
Stugotz.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be with you.
That just dawned on me. Thanks, Dan.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
One of the great things that is a lot of fun to do in sports is check back in the recent past at the nonsense that you were doing 1, 2, 3 years ago. So I take you back now to a time when Blake Griffin was barricading a door in the home of DeAndre Jordan because DeAndre Jordan was a final piece. Mavericks badly wanted him. Clippers had to keep him. And you've seen everything that's happened since with the Clippers, where now DeAndre Jordan's going to be gone and Blake is gone and Chris Paul is gone and everything has changed in the last 2 years. We were obsessed about the big free agent piece. DeAndre Jordan. So now, look at this though. This, from around that same time period, a little earlier, I could go back to a time where Alex Smith is an insufficient quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and the ballsiness of Jim Harbaugh benching him made the legend of Jim Harbaugh that has now deteriorated. And furthermore, the guy he was benched for isn't even in the league. But Alex Smith just got a guaranteed $71 million. The guy benched for Alex Smith in San Francisco, Colin Kaepernick, no longer in the sport. Jim Harbaugh on the fringes of it in Michigan, hanging on to his job. Alex Smith, though, banking.
Yep.
And so it makes me wonder, what the hell are we doing with our quarterback position? Because Washington didn't fix anything. They just decided $35 million is too much for Kirk Cousins. Get him out of here. We'll take cheaper Kirk Cousins, and we'll just put Alex Smith back here taking sacks, and we're not going to actually get any better. We're not going to we're going to stay the same. We're going to be 7-9. We're going to be 8-8. We're going to be 9-7 and losing the first round of the playoffs.
Sure. Although football's so random, like it just, and I think what I'm saying lends to what you're kind of, like, what are we doing? We have no idea what we're watching. It's so random. Maybe they'll be good.
I know, but what I would tell you, yes, maybe they will be good, but this is what I would argue. And this is what mismanagement is, trading Kirk Cousins for too expensive Alex Smith when you're not winning anything with Alex Smith. The way mismanagement works is you got to get that out of Case Keenum or Nick Foles or somebody else. You can't. Alex Smith, I'm guessing if I gave Nick Foles or Case Keenum, Case Keenum can become Alex Smith the next 5 years with more interceptions. He's going to take more chances, and he's going to have more interceptions.
Nick Foles had the season under Chip Kelly.
No, but what I'm saying is you're paying $71 million for what? You're guaranteeing Alex Smith $71 million for what?
Consistency.
Consistent what?
Consistently not turning the ball over. Consistently being an above-average quarterback.
Okay, but what I'm saying is Minnesota somehow found a way to actually be relevant last year using 3 different kinds of Kirk Cousins. Or the last 2 years, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Sam Bradford. Like, these guys are all, what's the difference between them? Like, what's the difference on winning between them?
Not a big difference. Not a big difference. I understand.
But you're giving one of them $71 million.
In fact, Case Keenum did more winning this year than Alex Smith, I think, has ever done. Right? Has he ever been to?
Well, the year he got benched,
went to a championship game, right?
He was actually really good. The year that he got benched, and he did beat the Saints in the playoffs.
But what I'm saying to you is, just like many of you shrugged your shoulders and yawned with the idea of Blake Griffin going to the Detroit Pistons, because you know that all that's going to result in is Blake Griffin becoming less relevant than he's ever been. You know that's not going to result in major winning. Like maybe Stan Van Gundy can build something there that becomes a 6th seed in the playoffs. But you know when that trade's made, what is the national reception to Washington trading for Alex Smith? Like to me, that just feels like shell game nonsense.
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, listen, from Washington's perspective, you got Kirk Cousins. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. You got Kirk Cousins, but you got him at a cheaper price because Kirk Cousins is going to ask for a lot more money.
Let me ask you this, because
and then maybe you draft a young quarterback and he learns under Alex Smith.
I don't think it's meant with a yawn because starting quarterbacks don't get traded every day, and we're all about the transaction. But it was met with whoa.
But they just traded for their quarterback.
But and they gave up a 3rd-round draft pick and Kendall Fuller, who's a really good slot corner, to essentially stay the same at quarterback.
Right, that's the point. They essentially traded for Kirk Cousins.
But pay him less.
Yeah, stay the same at quarterback, but be cheaper. And it just makes me wonder how we're doing all of the management of that position, because Alex Smith just seems like the guy who's available, who is safe, but you're not actually doing much of anything in terms of improving your franchise. The only thing that I see that results from this trade that is interesting is that Kirk Cousins, as far as I can tell, just got kind of boxed out after he thought he had leverage on getting to $25, $30, $35 million a year. He lost the Shanahan job that he was angling for in San Francisco because now Garoppolo's their quarterback for the next 10 years.
Right. Plenty of teams who need a quarterback, though.
Okay, but are they going to pay I don't know. Are they going to pay the Alex Smith money for Kirk Cousins?
I think so.
I think he's going to bank because there's a lot of teams that need a quarterback, a lot of teams that are close that need a quarterback and don't necessarily want to wait around.
You guys think he's going to get as much money as he would have as he was angling for in Washington, where he's angling for these $35 million a year contracts?
Yeah, look at the teams that are close that just have a quarterback issue: Denver, Arizona. Lord knows the Browns would love to upgrade their quarterback position and keep the 1 and 4
Jacksonville.
pick.
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
But Jacksonville announced yesterday. I don't know why they would do this. So weird. They announced yesterday that Blake Bortles is their starter next year, week 1. Yesterday. Next year.
That's not the wisest. That's not the most vision.
Why?
Here comes the money.
If you're Jacksonville, I mean, this is what we've been doing with Chris Sims. Won't you go sign Kirk Cousins?
Yes, but this is what I want to ask you, though. The Washington fan base, are they excited about this? The one fan, like, if you're giving $71 million guaranteed to anyone, the reason that you'd be doing it if you're Dan Snyder, splashy free agent guy, like, do you think this excites your fan base?
No.
Does Alex Smith excite any fan base? Anyone? Browns? Anyone? Does Alex Smith?
Well, Mike, you and
I'd be fine with Alex Smith because Alex Smith is such a clear upgrade over what I got. I'm in a different situation. I don't know what to do if I'm a Washington fan because I had Alex Smith that maybe threw more interceptions.
The larger question I would ask you guys and the audience, are we evaluating that position correctly? When the price tag on Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith, who aren't winning you anything unless you're otherwise already great, when the price tag is where it is. Like, I keep asking you.
I think it speaks to how few guys are actually good
at that
position.
I know, but I keep asking you, how long is Cincinnati going to stay with Dalton when that's not good enough? Like, I just wonder how we're evaluating that position.
Marvin Lewis care. I mean, he gets re-signed every year anyway.
Don't forget, you can hear more of my sons Dan and Stu weekdays starting at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. Le Batard.
Harden got selfish and decided he wanted to go to Houston and be the guy. And I told you when he went there, he's never going to win a championship. He was more concerned, James Harden, about being the best player on a decent team than he was on being the third best player on a legendary team.
Stugotz.
Hey, James Harden. And the beard's enough already. Oh, who's he with a beard? Hey, he's trying to be different. I get it, James Harden. The beard. It's seriously the beard. When I think of James Harden, I won't think of anything other. I won't think of championships. I won't think of winning. I won't think of one of the all-time greats. I'll only think of his ridiculous beard. It's Harden. Him and his beard should be ashamed of themselves.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Can you imagine how much of an animal this guy would have been if he had 6 legs? The things he was doing on 2 legs, 6 legs.
Or with the rule changes in the NFL today.
That too. He got the Eagles to a Super Bowl after breaking his leg. Terrell Owens with us. And Guillermo has announced that this is the favorite promotion of Super Bowl week so far in the history of Super Bowl week. He's with us on behalf of Febreze to spread the word about how to get your bathroom ready before hosting a big Super Bowl party. And I love this. It's not just Febreze, T.O. I love that it's specifically how do we get the bathroom ready. So I've got a handful of questions for you. In the history of your teammates, who most needed the Febreze after the bathroom? Because I got Hugh Douglas.
Oh, wow.
I mean, any of those big defensive linemen or offensive linemen.
Name names, T.O. Stop protecting people. T.O., name names.
They consume a lot of food. Derek Deese, Harris Barton, Trey Thomas, Hollis Thomas. I mean, like you said, you mentioned Hugh Douglas. I mean, these are guys
Parcells.
Oh, of course.
Bad diet.
I would give Parcells the custom Febreze with my face on it.
Oh yeah,
because he's almost like this guy named Dave who thinks his bleep doesn't stink. But yeah, I'm here on behalf of Febreze, and I'm going to be throwing me a little Super Bowl party, and there's going to be pizza and all these good stuff on hand, but my bathroom will be stocked up.
This is what I want to understand, but I want to keep talking to you about this. I want to talk to you about it some more. When was the time that you walked into the bathroom and you're like, oh, Parcells, again with this tuna. It stinks in here. And did you,
like he didn't see Parcells walking out. He just knows that smell.
He just knows. Tuna was here again, and he was doing that.
Did that happen?
It was probably only just my tenure that we shared together there in Dallas. That was about it.
Oh, Andy Reid. Andy Reid.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
T.O.
I love Andy Reid.
I don't say.
We
didn't say you didn't love Dwayne.
You gotta go.
Dwayne Parcells either. We were saying that Andy Reid looks like somebody that after he leaves the bathroom, that bathroom's going to need Febreze.
Yeah. Absolutely, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm gonna send Andy one of these custom ones too. I'm just not gonna send him just a bottle of Febreze. I'm gonna send him one with my face on.
Hold on a minute. Is there an actual custom bottle of Febreze with your face on it? Does that exist?
Absolutely, it is.
I need one.
Yeah, I think you should say "assolutely" there. right. That's what we're talking about. Right?
Well, I'm with Procter & Gamble, so I'm trying to keep it PG.
Very nice. Thank you for doing that.
I'm keeping it PG.
All right, thank you, Tio. He's with us.
I think some of the people here, they're going to send you a picture of the custom bottle.
Okay.
What does your customized bottle smell like? Does it have any special scent?
Well, I'd like them to send us an actual customized bottle. Is there a way that we could get that, or is that I'm fat enough? I'll do that to a bathroom.
I'm going to get some. I'm going to make sure you get a couple of bottles.
All right, very good.
Right,
it's
nice.
Linen and Sky, but there are other different fragrances as well. But
what do you mean Linen and Sky? What does that mean?
That's the fragrance.
That's the fragrance.
But it smells like linen and
like
sky.
Fresh linens and sky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fresh. Yeah, they put my face on it because I'm like the freshest receiver that they've ever.
You are.
Seen.
There's no disputing that. But what does the sky smell like?
It's just airy blue. Just
airy and blue.
Just think about what the sky would probably smell like.
Okay, because I think
you know what linen smells like, right?
Yeah, I know what linen smells like, but it's an unusual combination. I'm not here to judge it. I'm not here to critique it. I'm here for all Febreze facts, and anyone you care to say can sully a bathroom. Jason Witten was on with us earlier, and he told us this great story about you and Bill Parcells, and he loved you as a teammate, and he went out of his way to say what a hard worker you were. Like, kept going over and over saying what a hard worker you were, but he was telling us the great story of you showing up one day after having a back and forth with Parcells, and you showed up in full Lance Armstrong bicycle gear to ride the stationary bike on the side.
That was up in Oxnard in training camp. So for whatever reason, I was having a little bit of a hamstring issue, and I'm very particular and very conscious of my body, and I knew that there was something going on. So again, with the training staff or what have you, they told me to take some days, and obviously Bill Parcells wanted me to get on the field, on the practice field in training camp to kind of get some rapport and all that good stuff. But my hamstring just wasn't ready, so obviously a lot of people started asking him about when I was going to be back and things of that nature, and obviously he got tired of the questions. He never referred me by my name. He always said the player. So me being the creative guy and just trying to have some fun in training camp, it can be mundane, monotonous every day. So
it's funny.
That was around the time that the Tour de France was going on. So every day, if you're not practicing, they have us on these stationary bikes. And so every day I was just, I was accumulating a lot of miles without going anywhere on this stationary bike. So I just thought it was appropriate during the time of Tour de France. So I just want to pay tribute to that,
right,
and have some fun, make light of it.
How did that go over with Bill?
Well, I mean, obviously it didn't go over too well with Bill.
but what was said? Because it's really funny.
I don't know what Bill said, to be honest. Really didn't care at that point in time. Because like I said, it was harmless. And I think, again, like when you're playing football, dude, you got to go out there. You got to have fun. And everybody thought it was hilarious. Didn't think too much of it except for Bill. So, obviously me doing this campaign with Fabrice, he probably was one of the ones that thought that his bleep didn't stink.
That's right. That's right. He thinks his bleep. Did you know that Bill Parcells' real name is Dwayne? Did you know that his name is not Bill? I'm not making this up. His real name,
Dwayne Parcells.
I'm not making this up. His
Dwayne?
real name is Dwayne, not spelled like Dwayne Wade. Duane.
Can't really take it seriously.
Okay. So where did Bill come in?
That's a great question. I got to get to the bottom of that.
I think it's his middle name.
Let's answer T.O.'s question at the end of this segment. But before we do that, do you have a favorite? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Dominique Foxworth has an answer for you here, T.O. Hold on a second.
He switched high schools, and when he got to his new high school, there was a guy there named Bill who looked like him, and so people started calling Dwayne Parcells Bill by mistake. He liked the name, so he jacked it.
He jacked the name, T.O.
Name jack.
Wow. Okay. Name jacker.
Do you realize I loved covering T.O. I loved covering T.O. during his career, Stugotz. He would torch everybody, and he largely didn't know the names of the defensive backs that he was playing against because it largely didn't matter who they were.
No.
So what percentage, T.O., it really didn't. What percentage of the cornerbacks that you played against, and the reason that makes me think about it is I'm trying to think if Dominique ever played against you as a cornerback, what percentage of the cornerbacks whose names did you know?
A few. I mean, obviously key matchups, every week when obviously they had their supposedly stud of a DB. I mean, you think about the Champ Baileys, Charles Woodson, D'Angelo Hall, he wanted to be Dion. So, I mean, you somehow you have to go out there and you have to quieten guys down.
Poor man's Dion.
That's kind of about it. I mean, I don't. Jason Sehorn, they thought he was, the great white hope.
Sehorn.
Over there.
You remember Sehorn? He was the great white hope. Hold on a second, though.
No, he wasn't. He didn't last very long.
Hold on a second.
You're right.
On.
Thank you.
Right. Hold on.
First career interception. Guarding T.O.
Huh?
What? We got a guy in here right now who says
I played opposite Champ, and for some odd reason, they didn't have Champ follow T.O. around the field. I'm sitting in the meeting room, like, hey, we got Champ, they got T.O. But still, somehow, I'm a rookie.
All right.
I got to guard T.O.
T.O., do you remember the name of the guy who you played against opposite Champ Bailey? What year was this?
05.
2005,
opposite Champ Bailey.
He had an interception in that game. He's very proud of it. It was his first career interception. Do you have any idea who that human being is?
I have no idea. When we played against Champ, I know that.
Get your cleats, T.O., right now, in the street. Shut him down. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. You find yourself a quarterback. Where's Kaepernick? Get Kaepernick out here. We'll find out who can ball.
Right. Again, like I said, when you're approaching the game and you get the scouting report, they only pay attention to like the top guy.
He doesn't know your name.
That's 2005. I'm talking about today. Strap it up, T.O. Let's go. Wear the cleats. We can do it in the Mall of America. Give me a flight
I'm ready.
to Miami out there right now.
T.O.,
I'm always ready.
T.O., are you saying you've never heard the name Dominique Foxworth?
I've heard of his name, but as far as me, having any knowledge of playing against the guy, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I take it back now. I mean,
what do you take it back? He has no knowledge of playing against you. You were flying around an elephant tail.
I'm not going to disrespect the guy. I mean, I know of the name. So again, and I'm sure just when they game plan, they know only like the top receiver, the people that they got to stop. So when we were game planning, then obviously, everybody knew about Champ Bailey and the Charles Woodson, outside of Dion, and these guys were kind of just making a name for themselves, and when I played with the Eagles, we were trying to score on everybody, every play that we could.
That's right. T.O., I do not want to embarrass you. I love T.O. I love everything. I've loved T.O. for 15 years. And again, he's with us on behalf of Febreze to spread the word about how to get your bathroom ready before hosting a big Super Bowl party.
That's right.
But I want to get your bathroom ready, but I want to corner you journalistically here, T.O., in a very loving way and demand that you name the guy who's challenging you right now to a Mall of the America fight in which he wears his cleats.
Slow down, man. I want to fight him.
Okay, not a fight, but where he guards you. I want you to give me his name because I believe that you don't know that name. And
you just mentioned it. You said Dominique Foxworthy, right?
Yeah.
Foxworthy!
No!
Dominic, he lit you up, dude.
Lit you up!
I've been...
What did he have? What did he have in that game?
No, time out.
Hold on.
Foxworth.
Give me hold on. You don't give me the numbers. T.O., you give me the numbers of what you did in that game. Hold on. You shut up. T.O., what are the numbers that you put up on Foxworthy?
No,
Dominique Foxworth. I don't know the numbers.
You tell him the numbers. You tell him the numbers.
He put up big numbers. Yeah. Although all those numbers were against Champ, I will have you know, bring up the film.
Where they? They were
all 154 yards were against Champ.
154 were on Champ.
All of it.
Dan's new water wall isn't going to pay for itself.
T.O., we love you, T.O. Thank you for being on with us, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, Terrell.
Dan Le Batard.
Bill Belichick has told his players that despite the blizzard that's expected in the New England area, the Patriots will hold its final practices during its playoff bye week. No excuses for being late. Moron.
Stugotz.
Don't do that.
Sorry. No excuses for being late. I'm sorry.
If he needs it, you got to give it to him. He's helping Bill.
He is displaying behavior, that of a moron. That's all I'm saying. Save it. We're good. You kick, save, and abuse.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, today's Straight Talk. I got something really wrong here 25 minutes ago.
Okay. You're right there?
Yes, sir. Right. I've become someone who has more gas bag in him than reporter. And so yesterday I made an error in that I was talking about the Clippers and how interesting it is that the Clippers are about to clear the decks to see if they can make room for LeBron, as reported by Mark Stein. But I got a call from a basketball source last night, more informed than I am. That's like, no, that's wrong. They're rebuilding. They need to rebuild everything. And on Kirk Cousins earlier in the show, I said that I thought he's being boxed out of the quarterback market because Washington no longer needs one, and he wanted to be with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. But look at what Bill Barnwell writes. Bill Barnwell does an exceptional job for ESPN on all things football. Cousins is about to become the highest paid player in the history of the NFL, and the numbers are going to be staggering. This kind of opportunity, the ability to acquire a franchise quarterback in his prime without having to give up a draft pick, comes around once in a generation. The last guy who really came close was Drew Brees in 2006, and even then he was coming off a torn labrum in his throwing shoulder, which famously led the Dolphins to pass on Brees, pushing him to the Saints. Peyton Manning was 36 and coming off of multiple neck surgeries in 2012. Cousins isn't a Hall of Famer, but he's healthier than both those guys were. This simply does not happen. I just object to the idea of Kirk Cousins as a franchise quarterback. He's a quarterback, and he can, if he's the quarterback of your franchise, he becomes the franchise quarterback, but I just don't think of Kirk Cousins that way.
But I think in the right place, like Jacksonville, maybe elsewhere, that he could be a guy that leads you to a Super Bowl. I mean, Dan, the last 3 years, his quarterback rating has been over 94.
Look, I'm willing to be wrong on it. and maybe Kirk Cousins will prove me wrong, but I've rarely seen him beat a good team. Like I've rarely watched Kirk Cousins and been like, here comes Kirk Cousins, and he's going to come get you a good team. And so I'm just wondering at the quarterback position, like I'm not saying he hasn't won games late because he did that whole thing. You like that. But I'm saying where we go from that to the desperation at that position is such that you're going to make him the highest paid player in the history of the sport with staggering numbers. It's just baffling to me.
Well, because that's where the numbers are, and because as Bill Barnwell wrote, he's available, and that doesn't happen often.
I
right?
get it, but it might as well be a nameless quarterback. Like if it were Alex Smith, it might be this around Alex Smith too, because you've got the 4 or 5 desperate quarterbacks. Alex Smith's older.
Right. You got 4 or 5 teams who are desperate for a quarterback. Is that what you're saying? You have the Broncos, the Jets, the Browns, the Buffalo Bills.
The thing that's going to help Cousins, obviously, the thing that's going to help Cousins is you just need 2 bidders who think that they're close. And hell, if Washington thinks they're close and goes after Alex Smith, then how many teams think they're that kind of close?
I don't think Washington thinks they're close. I just think they got they're thinking, hey, we got Kirk Cousins, but we got him for cheaper. I think the Denver Broncos certainly think they're close, and they probably are close. And so they're thinking, wow, we can get Kirk Cousins, 20-something-year-olds.
You can make the argument that the thing that Elway has gotten right in a position with the Broncos was simply having a relationship with Manning, and he has paid off because of that. And if he lures Kirk Cousins somehow at that position, yes, Denver has been close. Even though last year they were pretty terrible.
And he got lucky that Peyton Manning was available. Otherwise, he had this Tim Tebow situation that was difficult to navigate, and really the only way out of it was for Peyton Manning. And now, as Bill Barnwell's telling you, Kirk Cousins, despite the problems that we may have watching him and saying that he's not a franchise quarterback, they don't become available.
The last time we had this conversation, though, you say they don't become available, and that's fair. The last time we had this conversation was about the Lions paying Matthew Stafford. Now, the Lions may be eventually right on Matthew Stafford, but every time they won a game last year, you were reminding me of what a good signing that was for the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. And to me, Matthew Stafford, is better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And yet still, I think of him as a lesser quarterback that I would not pay that way. A lesser quarterback to the elite guys. There are only like 5 guys you'd pay, or I'd pay that way.
Right. I understand that, but so what do you do? Because I think it's all about the team that you're playing on. If Matthew Stafford's on a couple of different teams, I think he wins a Super Bowl.
Romo, I think, would have won a Super Bowl. Right, if we put all these guys with the Patriots, maybe if we put Kirk Cousins with the Patriots, we're winning Super Bowls.
I think if you put Kirk Cousins it's exactly what we're doing with Chris Sims. If you put Stafford or Cousins on Jacksonville, do you feel like they win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years? I mean, they're a lot closer, right? And it sounds weird considering they were in the AFC Championship game.
Mean, I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I don't know what to tell you. If you tell me that I've got a franchise and the highest paid player in the sport is coming to my team to eat up a ton of the salary cap, so to make it more difficult to get good players to put around him, and that player's name is Kirk Cousins, I'm like, man, that's a death blow. That's a death blow to your franchise unless you're close. If you're wrong about being close, if Denver's not close, if the Super Bowl window closed in that 50-point game they gave up against whoever it was last year, who did they give up 50 to?
I forget who, but they did give up 50 to someone.
One of these games, like if you're wrong about that Denver defense, if that Denver defense is now a year older and is not good.
I will say, though, this show is pretty staunch in the camp that Kirk Cousins isn't worth that, but he's a pretty polarizing quarterback. There's a lot of people that I trust that
there are a lot of people who believe that he is, right? There are a lot of people who believe he's a franchise quarterback who deserves to be paid like the best in the sport.
They gave up 50 to the Eagles, followed up by 41 to the Patriots. That is Straight Talk. It is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. Jerome Bettis, the bus, joins us next.
Don Le Batard.
You want to make something smart really dumb? I give you Stugotz.
Stugotz.
You love sandwiches, huh?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Jerome Bettis is selling butter. He's going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. I love Super Bowl week, man. You got T.O. and Febreze and Jerome Bettis just walking around selling butter. Anyway, SportsCenter. James Harden became the first player in NBA history to post a 60-point triple-double in the Rockets' 114-107 win over the Magic. Kevin Love is likely out 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured hand. And finally, a chameleon's tongue is twice the length of its body. That is amazing, man. How about that?
Which part?
All right, Kevin Love. I mean, they just had this locker room conversation, and everyone's pointing fingers at Kevin Love, and now Kevin Love can't even point a finger because everything's broken. The irony. For all the latest headlines and information.
Couldn't even get through it without a laugh.
Tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
All right, Jerome Bettis is with us on behalf of Butter, and there's this Land O'Lakes Farm Bowl tomorrow from 1 to 3 Central at the University of Minnesota's Mariucci Arena. Wow. If you want more information, visit thefarmbowl.com. We love Bettis. Thank you for joining us, Bettis. What is this Farm Bowl nonsense?
Basically what it is, it's a challenge that we're going to have former and active players team up with farmers, and we're going to go through these competitive challenges, throwing some bales of hay around, drone drops, trying to show a little farm agricultural side, but also some of the technology that is kind of changing the industry. So it's going to be a great time, and we're going to have Luke Kuechly, Kyle Randolph, Greg Jennings, Stephon Diggs is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a good group of guys. It's going to be a great time. And most importantly, it's free. Free for everyone.
Jerome,
so
hold on a second. Jerome, I love you. Thank you. Again, thefarmbowl.com.
What do you think?
Farming technology. No, I want to know what Jerome Bettis knows about farming technology. Maybe he does know a great deal about. All right,
go ahead, Jerome. Tell him.
I've learned now they have automated. They've got self-driving tractors. I mean, all these stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think is involved. The drones are they go around and they're checking and making sure. Everything is okay in the fields and so it's a lot more than you would normally associate with farming, because I didn't know much. I'm from Detroit. All I know is concrete.
That's why I was saying I don't imagine you being a farming expert, but I do imagine you being. Wait a minute. I do imagine you being an expert on butter.
Yeah, I wonder if he goes with sticks of butter or the tub of butter. Where do you go, Jerome?
Where do you go?
You're a stick guy.
If we look through your fridge, now I understand. If we look through your fridge, what are we finding? We're finding spray butter. We're finding sticks of butter.
Sticks.
What are we finding?
It's like the Land O'Lakes. They got the sticks, but they also have the what is that little square carton deal?
A square carton deal. That works?
Yeah. I don't do the shopping.
I understand.
I do the eating.
I understand.
I do the eating part.
All right.
Speaking of eating, Jerome, have you attacked that food court? Have you attacked that
Wait a minute, Jerome,
thing?
hold on a second. Jerome, I want to ask you, is the food court sample somewhere near you? Can we get you to go over and grab a food court sample?
They don't have, I got a little bitty sample of from Carlo's bake shop. I mean, it got a little bit of something in here, but not what you would expect here. And I'm actually disappointing you two guys. I mean, you guys are down there in the bottom, and we're in Minneapolis. We're freezing our butts off.
You're jealous.
I am really jealous. I can't lie. I was saying I'm mad, but I'm really actually.
All right, but hold on a second. There is nowhere around you in the Mall of America. There's nowhere around you a sample tray that Jerome Bettis could go right now.
There is nowhere around me.
What?
I got my eyeballs on the Shake Shack. I've been watching it.
Right.
Every time I go to a different one, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm on the left of it, I'm on the right of it. So I know where that is. That's kind of like my aiming point, where I want to kind of hit at some point.
But you're waiting on that. You're waiting on that bourbon chicken.
What is the best of the samples? According to Jerome Bettis, what is the best?
They don't have any samples.
But in a real mall,
the average mall court, the thing that Jerome Bettis is going to wander over and maybe grab 3 or 4 toothpicks of it is what?
Oh, that's a good question.
See, thank you, Jerome. The first good one asked this Super Bowl week.
That's a good question. What would I grab?
Bourbon chicken, man.
What are the choices there?
Yeah, bourbon chicken is okay, but I would try to see, because I'm a big fan of orange chicken. So I want to see how their orange chicken is and how it's prepared. If it's a little tangy, or if it's just like sweet, like
Okay, is there a way, Jerome, before the end of the show today, at some point, that we could check in with you on behalf of Land O'Lakes, the Farm Bowl tomorrow, 1 to 3 Central, University of Minnesota's Mariucci Arena. For more information, thefarmbowl.com. We could get some samples out and have you critique some samples for us. Like, is that possible? At some point this week, do you think that at some point we can get that done?
At some point, we can get some. I'm a sample guy.
I know you are. You're our guy. I know you're our guy.
I'm a sample kind of guy. I'm not a pay kind of guy. I'm a sample guy.
Right.
And that's
all I need is a little taste.
That's what we're looking for.
That's why you and I get along so well. Have you ever done the move where you try the bourbon chicken and then you ask for a toothpick of the orange chicken because you're trying to you show that you're genuinely trying to figure out which one you want to order for lunch, and then you end up ordering neither of them? Have you ever done that?
Leave after eating the sample.
You're doing that trying to get full.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
I'm not,
yes.
Jerome will take longer for you.
I don't
Jerome.
do that. Right. The sample is not going to. That's not going to get me full. That's going to get me to the next area.
What's the single most important thing the Eagles have to do to beat the Patriots?
Not make mistakes. No. And I think the quarterback in particular, Nick Foles, I think if you go back through the history of playing the Patriots, the quarterback has always made the mistake that allowed them to win. You look at Blake Bortles. He takes a delay of game penalty, 3rd and 6 in the second quarter, which you thought it was not big, but what happened was they would have completed the play. Mm-hmm. At the very least, they would have went in with a 17-point lead.
Biggest play in the game.
Yeah, they would have went in with a 17-point lead. Now they kick the ball, the Patriots go down, punt the ball, go down. They score a 10-point game. Now they got a ball game in the second half. If you look at Matt Ryan, in the game, you can't take a sack in that situation. Takes a sack, gives him an opportunity to get another opportunity with the ball instead of making it a two-possession game. So the quarterback is going to directly affect this game. And if Nick Foles cannot make the mistake, then they can win. But if he makes the mistake, they have no chance of winning the game. You look at Eli Manning, didn't make any mistakes when they beat him. The quarterback you can have a great defense, but the quarterback can't make any mistakes.
Good answer. Go grab a bunch of sticks of butter and rub them all over your bare chest.
No, we're not doing that. Come on now. That's a bit much.
Land O'Lakes, it's not too much. All over, slather it all over your man chest.
Much.
All right, very good.
Everybody knows I'm an ad man.
Love that guy.
We got to get Bettis wandering around. We don't even have samples at the Mall of America.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, that's a major deal point. There's no way I'm going there if there's no samples.
Guillermo, put it on the poll.
There anyway.
Are you going to the mall if the mall doesn't have samples in its food court? Yes or no?
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
Dan Le Batard. Tom Ricketts is saying that the Cubs will not allow Sammy Sosa back into that organization for anything moving forward until he comes clean. And what I find absurd about that, and what a hypocrite this guy is that family made hundreds of millions of dollars off the name Sammy Sosa. By the way, never tested positive for steroid use. And if he was using steroids, which we all assume that he was, my guess is if he was using it, the Ricketts family had an inkling that was going on in their own clubhouse. And for him to come out many, many years later and say Sammy Sosa must come clean for us to allow him back into our prestigious organization, our club, get out of here with that.
Stugotz. Yeah, Ricketts didn't make money off Sammy Sosa. He won the bid in 2009. This was post-Sammy Sosa.
Well, that ruins my argument.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Super Bowl 52 coverage continues in a moment with Kenny G. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Kenny G will join us on the Shell Penn Performance Line. God, I love this song. I do. So relaxing.
Also, I think it's love-making music. I think Kenny G's music is love-making music.
I know nothing about that.
Oh, look, he's trying to bump in here. Yeah, see?
Oh, wait, Kenny, you want to do this live on the My Sports? Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. It's better live. Hold on. Let Kenny do it.
Here's your Sports Center update. A little lower, Kenny. A little lower, Kenny.
Man, I love that song.
No,
All right,
Kenny, keep playing it, but just a little lower.
Kenny, just play it if you don't mind until he finishes.
Or I'll go higher. Kenny, you know what? I'll go higher.
You do what you want, Kenny. Just go for 30 seconds if you don't mind so he can finish reading this. Thank you, sir.
Go for it.
No, but we need you to play what... Yeah, there you go.
Here's your SportsCenter update. Vegas came back from a 2-1 deficit by scoring 3 goals in the final 2 minutes of the game to defeat the Flames 4-2 and have tied the league record for wins by an expansion team with 33. It's amazing. Former Flames winger Jaromir Jagr cleared waivers and has been assigned to HC Kladno of the Czech 1 Liga in the Czech Republic. Really? He wants to play hockey that badly?
45 years old.
And finally, in the United States, a pound of potato chips costs 200 times more than a pound of potatoes.
Put that on the poll, Guillermo. Did you know that a pound of potato chips costs 200 times more than a pound of potatoes?
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Kenny G is the best. We are hugely grateful that he makes our venue, the Super Bowl. He's good.
Let the man perform.
I know.
Is that enough?
Yes, thank
Kenny,
you,
good
sir.
enough.
You are the
Jeez.
best. We were just sitting here listening to you. Let's give Kenny. Kenny deserves, right? I mean, he deserves that he's given us all this time and he's putting these performances together. Yes, you are the Super Bowl guys. I owe you a public apology. Yesterday, I really grilled you excessively on groupies, so I will do a better job today. Thank you for tolerating with patience our nonsense. So,
my pleasure.
I want to ask you about inventing the Frappuccino.
Well, speaking of Seattle, because I'm from Seattle, that's where Starbucks started, but I was just thinking about football today, and something maybe even you, Stugotz, don't even know, is that I was part of the Seattle Seahawks pep band the first year that the Seahawks came into existence.
Wow. That's an amazing nugget right
It is an amazing
and
nugget,
I had no idea.
but not as amazing as inventing the Frappuccino, which is what I was asking you about.
Yeah.
It didn't. That headline was completely taken out of context. That's fake news right there. Totally fake news.
Well, explain yourself. What happened?
What do you mean explain yourself on fake news?
I want to know. I want to know what happened.
Well, but you are one of the original investors in Starbucks, are you not?
I am.
And so it's not implausible that you would have been around the inventing of the Frappuccino.
I was around during that time, but what happened was I told a story about the fact that I was around, and when they were experimenting with flavors and whatever ingredients, there was a lot of people that were part of the. I don't know if anything I said meant anything, but we had a chance to taste things that they were experimenting with, and I was just part of that, and I just talked about that, and then the next headline came out that I was the inventor of it, which is completely not true.
Okay,
well, you should own that, and you should tell everyone you are the inventor. You should get a percentage of that. You should, yes, you should go around saying that you invented the Frappuccino. But can you tell us, because I've seen you on these business shows, you are a savvy investor. So can you explain? Can you explain to us how it is that you got involved with Starbucks?
Well, that was not such a savvy thing. My uncle actually was one of the very first investors, and he's the one that said to me, "You should." Talking about me, you should check out this coffee company and put money in it. So I just kind of listened to my uncle, and by the way, I met Howard Schultz, the founder and the genius behind Starbucks, and he's such a charismatic guy, such a great guy, so smart. And so when I talked to him about what he was doing, I mean, I couldn't have written a check faster.
Wow,
so I don't know.
Cool.
It was risky. Obviously, there was no guarantee of anything. But obviously, in hindsight, everything looks like I was super smart. But it was just a gut instinct and being impressed with a great guy and listening to his great business plan. So I took a chance. It was a big chance.
It paid off. I'm wondering, have you made more money off of Starbucks or your music?
By a good amount.
That's how you answer that one. You are a G.
Does your music sell in Starbucks? Do they sell your music in Starbucks?
Used to. At first, yes. Not right now, no.
All right, you have met an enormous number of interesting people, but correct me if I'm wrong because I don't want to do more fake news stuff. But did you go shooting with Bill Clinton? Did you shoot guns with Bill Clinton or just his Secret Service team? Or what happened there?
Oh gosh, where is that coming from? That was during the inauguration. I played I think I played at the inauguration, and during that time, the FBI guys offered me a chance to go down to their shooting range to shoot, and I did. So that was it. It wasn't really with the president, but it was with FBI people.
What were you firing?
I can't remember.
It was a 1930 Tommy gun, 50-round drum magazine.
How do you know these things?
I was watching you.
That's probably true, though. Yeah, that was super fun, man. It's like being inside the ropes at a golf tournament. You know, it's awesome.
But how did the Secret Service? Did you ask them any questions? Like, did they give you any information that was wonderful to be a part of?
Not really. No, I mean, it was more. No, they just kind of took me down the shooting range, gave me the stuff, showed me how to do it. I shot it, and then I went and I was somewhere else.
How often have you played the sax with Bill Clinton?
One time with him, and maybe about a half a dozen times for things that he was part of. Yeah, he's cool though. It's fun to play for him because he's a sax player. He really appreciates all the notes. You know, when I play all those fast notes, he can appreciate what goes behind learning that.
Would you call him a friend? Like, is he a friend of yours? Can you get Bill Clinton on the phone right now?
You could get Bill Clinton on the phone right now. Wait a minute.
Don't
do that to him again.
I'm not.
We already did it with Richard Marx.
I'm just Kenny G. If you call Bill Clinton right now, would he pick up the phone? That's all I'm asking.
That's a good question.
I don't have a direct line to him, but no, I don't.
All right, so
Richard Marx, yes, but not Bill Clinton.
Okay, well, since Stugotz is angling this way anyway, if we were to go to the top of your phone celebrity list, like, Stugotz is wanting to call one of these people, but I'm just curious where it is that you've been, where like Bill Clinton or Miles Davis or whomever, where the highest end of Kenny G can't believe he's in the company of this person, that the sax has gotten him in the company of this person.
Okay, this one is easy. I'm in Hong Kong, and I'm with my guys in my band, and we're going out to dinner, and a bus goes by, and there's Jackie Chan's picture on the back of a bus on some movie that they're doing in China or whatever. And I happen to know Jackie Chan, and I tell my guys, hey, here's my friend Jackie Chan. They go, you don't know Jackie Chan. I go, I know Jackie Chan. You don't know Jackie Chan. I said, you know what? I'm going to call him. I'm going to have him meet us at the restaurant for dinner.
Yeah.
Like I think he's going to be available, and who knows where he is. Anyway, I text him. He's in Hong Kong. I say, come and meet us at this restaurant. And I'm thinking, there's no way this is going to happen. He shows up at the restaurant. Of course, all the guys in the band now can't believe that I know Jackie Chan, and I've got all this respect. And then he says, hey, come with me. We go driving in my car. I said, okay. And then I left the guys in my band, and I went driving in Jackie Chan's Bentley around Hong Kong with him just the two of us in his car. Okay, that's pretty damn cool.
That is pretty great.
Good, man.
That is pretty. I mean, you got to be careful with the accents, but that was really a cool story. Seriously.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
No, it's okay. It was terrible anyway.
No, but it was a great story. The idea wasn't a very good accent, but that's okay too. That had to be crazy. Like touring Jackie Chan. It's crazy because not the answer I was expecting among Miles Davis and Bill Clinton, but touring that city with him has to be amazing.
Exactly. You know, in his car, and he tells me, I won't do the accent anymore. He says, listen, if you get into any trouble in Hong Kong, you tell everybody that I'm your big brother, and no problem. I said, okay, I will do that.
Yes, you got to keep looking for those kinds of. You should have gone on a spree, on some sort of crime spree, to see if Jackie Chan could have gotten you out of everything.
Yeah, right, and then I'll end up like the basketball players.
That's right. That's right. LeVar Ball will have to come get you.
So let's build up this week, Kenny, to where we get Jackie Chan on the show.
No, don't do that.
I think Kenny would do it. I think he would do it.
Don't do that. Yeah. I don't know. We will talk to Kenny tomorrow.
Kenny, we'll talk to you and Jackie tomorrow, or what do you think?
I'll send a text to him. Who knows where he is? He's probably in Beijing.
All right.
You never know until you ask. Okay. Kenny G likes us.
All right. He does like us.
I mean, the real guy I wanted on was Mickelson this week, but I'll settle for Jackie Chan.
Okay, maybe Friday. Kenny, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, dudes.
All right.
Yes, love this, man. Love this.
Raindrop, drop top. Time to read the script for a hot spot.
What a blessing he is. I mean, seriously, for you and I and this show to have Kenny G in our life, what a blessing.
But it's just weird because 18 months ago, I would have told you I don't want Kenny G in my life.
Right, I understand that. I would have said the same thing, but you don't judge a book by its cover.
I would have been wrong.
Yeah.
I would have been wrong. Chris Sims is going to join us next to rank quarterbacks. We're at number 35.
Did you ever imagine you want Chris Sims in your life?
I did not. No. My life is filled with unexpected turns.
Don Le Batard.
I watched the game, man. I watched the game. Don't do one of these things that you didn't watch the game and you're going to make me feel stupid about what I just said. I watched the game. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Stugotz.
I saw the game, too.
Damn.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
What are you laughing about?
Just Chris Sims, the whole conversation, Guillermo making fun of me. Listen, Chris Sims, he was supposed to join us at 11:45. I'm not certain if he's joining us right now. Is he on hold? He's not good, so I can say what I'm about to say. Otherwise, he'd be able to hear it. But the reason Chris Sims, who was supposed to be on 11:45, is not here is because Chris Sims is such a big star now that he can't get to our booth at Radio Row. And the reason he's a big star is because of us. And I would just tell Chris, get your priorities in order, okay? Don't forget who got you there, okay?
That's obnoxious. Guillermo, what were you laughing about at Stugotz during the break as he railed against Chris Sims?
I mean, that take is he's right, by the way. He's 100% right.
Thank
and
you,
I just
boys.
like the way it's sort of, let me do that. Chris Sims. Better get his priorities in order.
That's it.
I mean, we should be the priority to Chris Sims, and then he could deal with every other radio
We
show. But
have
us first.
been for 35
He signed the contract.
days.
Wait, didn't we get the idea to have him on because he joined Dan Patrick?
Yes.
Stugotz is very weirdly proprietary about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Would he even be at Radio Row without us?
I don't think so.
He works for Bleacher Report.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have sent him.
Well,
I mean,
people have realized that Chris Sims gives good opinion on quarterback play. People have realized that. We've realized that.
Right.
He's apparently taking a picture right now because he's so famous. Allison
that's what I'm
sees
saying.
him.
And why have people realized that he gives a good opinion on quarterbacks? Because of this platform. This show.
Or Bleacher Report or Dan Patrick show.
No. Dan Patrick, he just went on there and he threw it out. Was flipping. I think he was kind of joking. Hey, Blake, I'm going to really peel back the curtain on Sims right now. Hey, Blake, well, yeah, he's number 70. And then I saw it on Twitter and I said, all right, let's bring him on and rank 1 through 69. My idea, our platform, priorities. Let's go. No one heard the Dan Patrick thing. I saw it on Twitter. No one heard it. I mean,
oh, wow.
I love DP, but I don't
wait a minute. So now you're taking personal responsibility. It's not even the show for Chris Sims. You personally have made Chris Sims a star by noticing on Twitter that he had been on the Dan Patrick show.
And he's welcome. Binders for you. I mean, something. At least stop taking pictures and come do your job. Okay?
You can have a finder.
Well, he was walking over, and apparently he just stopped to take another picture.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, you want to light him up when he gets here?
Allison can give us a breakdown.
Do you want to do this? I think this would be funny to do to Chris Sims at the midway point of him being tired of us and us being tired of him. 35 ranked quarterback. I do think it'd be funny if now it escalates into you and him being rivals because you buried him on Countdown
felt bad about that
in a
one.
heel turn where you felt bad about that one and apologized to him.
I did.
But it was insincere because you got what you needed out of the appearance, which was a Blake Bortles jersey, the public support, weirdly, of Blake Bortles, like if you were a longtime fan of Blake Bortles.
Blake's my guy.
Let me just pull up my email.
Jeez, Sims.
Make sure I got the right thing here. I don't want to mess up this. Come on, Wi-Fi.
What is he doing?
Trying to get the list.
Oh, are you guys? Am I on right now?
Yeah, I'm mad at you, Sims.
Right now, Stugotz is mad at you.
Well, I don't give a damn about that. I mean, he's the guy that tried to get Tony Vaselli to beat me up.
Yeah, I did, and I'm going to do it again. But, Sims, here's the deal. I mean, you were supposed to be on 11:45, and the reason you can't get to this table on time is because you become such a big star because of our platform, because of what we've done with you. And you're sitting there taking pictures and doing this, and we're waiting around for you to give us number 35, and you're taking pictures with everyone. I mean, prioritize. Remember the people who got you here, okay?
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but I'm kind of a big deal now, okay? So you got to take the good with the bad there, big guy. Sorry.
You're welcome. Now, tell me, how many new subscribers do you have to the Sims and Lefko podcast that you started doing the show with us? A lot,
I know it's doing a lot better, yes. It's definitely gotten some new people in the mix.
Wait a minute.
Who's Lefko?
Hold on a second. Is Chris Sims acknowledging that Stugotz has made him a star?
I am, as you know by now, I keep it real all day, every day. You certainly have helped me in my media brand in the world of 2018. Yes, you have helped. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Now, I think more people might hate me now more than they like me, but regardless.
That is the deal with the devil, my friend, when you make it with Stugotz. I know. I know.
And, guys, I had Tony Baselli on my podcast today.
That a boy. That's how you do it. Now, tell me about this Lefko. I mean, who is he?
He's a great dude, a millennial from Philadelphia. I mean, he's like the guy that keeps me cool as far as like what's
enough
cool
about Lefko.
Number 35.
Number 35.
Should just be the Sims podcast.
The 35th ranked quarterback in the NFL, according to Chris Sims, is
Brett Hundley, Green Bay Packers.
Wow. I like it. This list is really getting good now, man.
Oh, yeah, you wait. It's gonna keep staying good, too. I'm going to have curveballs for you every week.
He's better than Eli.
Yeah, sorry, he's faster. He's got a stronger arm. He's got a quicker release. Yes. Yeah.
Faster.
Well, we know he's faster. I mean, yes, I'm faster. Right, you're right. Well, it does help this day and age to create some plays outside the pocket and stuff. So,
do you think your dad is faster than Eli Manning?
Not now, and back in the day he was.
Yeah, because he could scoot back in the day.
Hold on a second. He could scoot. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. Who would win in a race, Phil Simms now or let's go Eli Manning? Now, before we let you go, real quick, give us 30 seconds because we have come to value your quarterback analysis. 30 seconds on what the hell Washington's doing with Alex Smith.
I think it was the smart play for their organization. You can't let a quarterback or any player hold your team hostage and hold your feet to the fire. Nobody's worth $34 million except for guys like maybe Brady or Rodgers in their prime. So from this standpoint, they can grow their team with a consistent leader that they know is going to be there for the future. Is Kirk Cousins better than Alex Smith? Yes, but it's not by a great margin. And now they'll be able to make up the difference of this $15 million and get a few more players to fill out their roster and make them a better football team. So that's my thoughts.
So I mean, if you feel like that about Alex, then I'm guessing Kirk Cousins same thing. Like someone's going to pay him a lot of money, Chris, but they probably shouldn't, right?
Well, I mean, you can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. He's in the top half in the NFL of starters. He's somewhere in 16 or above.
Don't tease too much.
I won't tease too much.
Whoa. Slow down, baby.
Whoa. Pump the brakes.
Get the hell out of here, Sims, and just gather yourself. Come back tomorrow and see if you can fix all of this.
Okay, I'll try to do my best.
Get out of here.
Guys.
Go take some pictures.
Say hi to Lefko.
That's once a new boat. Time for some more ads.
Lefko.
The hell with Lefko.
Don Le Batard.
Stugotz spent the entire break giggling at a text. What does that text read?
This has been the worst hour in the last 6 years of the show, and it's not even close.
Stugotz.
And it's not even over.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Going to update the polls in a second at Le Batard Show, but first we check in with our sad Super Bowl Radio Row correspondent. This has been her first full day there. She's been miserable throughout it. She's sitting in Don LaGreca's seat right now in the food court. She was near Stephen A. Smith. Let's find out what's going on here.
Mall. Allison Turner.
Terrible imaging. Allison Turner with us now. What is going on? Paint a picture for us. How sad are you?
I will paint a picture. If you're claustrophobic, this is as tight of a space that you can possibly imagine. It is so tight. Stephen A. just got here, my soon-to-be husband.
He can't be happy with the setup if it's that tight. He cannot be happy.
Hold on a second. Is everyone just yammering sports opinions in every direction? Is that what you're surrounded by?
And surrounded. And the tables are really close together. Our booth is in front of the Beef Jerky Experience. There's an actual store.
What's the show that's making you the saddest as you survey the landscape there?
I suppose Houston, because they had a fight this morning. There was a physical altercation or something between two stupid hosts.
Okay, how good a fight was it? Was it a good fight with security called?
I mean, they were screaming at each other. Sports.
That's a good show.
Stuff. It was so stupid. I was like, you like this guy? No, you like this guy.
Who won? Wait
a minute. So,
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, any other celebrity sightings that have been interesting? Celebrity media sightings?
Celebrity media. Your boy, Mark Schlereth. I saw him bright and early this morning. Your favorite.
Okay. Of course, he's a radio rep.
I know your boy.
Any celebrity sightings? No.
Okay.
No, I have
Allison, you agree that Chris Sims, right? Like Chris Sims getting a little too big, right? Like, how hard was it to get Chris Sims over to our table?
Well, he's working.
Oh.
He actually has a job, and he's working. And it's, I mean, like I said, it's super claustrophobic. And he's been so gracious with his time.
Right.
He's been on every day for 2 months.
Let's just be clear. He's working because of me. I mean,
okay, what's outside of the fight? The fight made you sad. What's the grossest thing you've seen?
The grossest thing so far?
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing is gross.
Okay, very good. We'll check in with you.
We're in front of the beef jerky experience. What's worse than that?
But is there a person, a station, a table?
Is there a gross person in front of me?
It sounds delightful.
Really,
a beef jerky.
Stephen A's eating lunch right now.
Okay.
What does he have?
Do you want to know what he's eating?
Yes.
The cheeseburger from Burger King. I don't know what's
Stephen
on.
A. Really?
Hold on a second. Can you put him on the phone here real quick so I can ask him?
Oh, man, be careful. He hates being interrupted when he's eating.
Be careful.
Yeah, but hold on.
I know, but I do want to
careful.
ask Stephen A. why. I want to ask Stephen A. Well, let's see what's happening here.
Well, he's just coming from First Take, and I imagine, right? He's going from First Take to go to the radio show. You got to get a quick burger from Burger King,
okay,
right?
but this might not go well with Stephen A., but can we do this on air, Allison, where you just sort of ask him?
Yeah, she just got up from her table. Yeah, I can hear her trying to convince him. Oh,
okay.
Man.
Oh, he's coming on.
All right.
He's coming on. I'm nervous.
Hello,
sir.
What do you want, Dan Le Batard?
No, we just wanted to interrupt you during your meal.
And we apologize.
Yes, we want to apologize. Not to take any objection with your team or in front of your mother on her birthday, but also wanted to find out what you were eating, because last time you were eating, you were cheating on your diet.
I was cheating just now. Cheating just now.
Oh, Stephen A.
I did the green smoothies. I've been eating salads for lunch and dinner over the last few days. And then I'm in the Mall of America. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people. And damn it, I passed the Burger King. I couldn't help myself.
All right.
I just couldn't help myself. Okay, I'm admitting it, damn it. But Dan, here's the deal. This is the beauty of being associated with you, buddy. This is the beauty of being associated with Dan Le Batard. If I'm standing next to you, I'm going to always look in shape. See you later, Steve. I'm going to always look in shape.
Well played. All right, thank you,
So
sir.
we're good.
All right, enjoy your burger, sir. Thank
you so much, man. Thank you.
He's the greatest ever.
Yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Let's go ahead and update whatever poll stuff we have. Thank you, Allison, for your contribution to the show. For the love of God.
Allison Turner.
Let's zip through these.
Great imaging. Does Sal Palantonio look like a bagman? 87% of the audience said yes. Does it make any sense to name a mini golf course Moose Mountain? I forgot about that. Moose Mountain. 52% of the audience said no. What kind of human being brings a tuna fish sandwich on an airplane? 56% of the audience said an awful one.
What was the other option?
An evil one.
Don LaGreca.
Is the secret in the dirt? Jerome Bettis. Was it the Busters? Oh, no. Jason Witten said the secret was in the dirt. Yeah, 80% of the audience agreed and said yes.
He said that 3 weeks ago on our show, right?
Yes, that's a long time ago.
When you are told you can't have something, do you want it more? 91% of the audience said yes. What is the more outrageous claim? Bobby Valentine claiming he invented the rap, or Kenny G claiming he invented the Frappuccino? 60% of the audience said Bobby V. Hold on, just scrolling up here. Are you going to the mall if the food court doesn't have samples? Why else do you go to the mall? 63% of the audience said no. Did you know that a pound of potato chips costs 200 times more than a pound of potatoes? 74% of the audience said no.
That's crazy.
It really is. Who would win in a race today? Phil Simms or Eli Manning? 58% of the audience said Phil Simms.
I think so, too. We should set it up.
How are we going to get Eli Manning?
We're not. We're gonna say it, have a great idea, and then we're not. We can't get a television
and then we won't
camera.
get a camera out there to cover it.
Right, exactly. They'll have the race, but we won't have a camera to cover it.
Can you go on any journey without Steve Perry? 65% of the audience said no.
Wait a minute, you forgot one there. You forgot the
which one?
The Grateful Dead member, the black Grateful Dead member.
It's not up there.
All right.
Internet.
All right. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Don't forget, you can hear more of my sons Dan and Stu weekdays starting at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.